Okay. Hi. Long time no video. It's been 3 months since I put anything out, and I thought it would be a good time, if any, to kind of give some life updates and go over what I've been reading because I just ended Moving with Pride a couple weeks ago and I did read quite a bit. Yeah, I feel really awkward and I kind of feel like I'm starting over completely, which I'm not. But let's just get into it. I had to take a step back from YouTube because life got bad. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Life just got horrible. April, May, June, all of it horrible. Just had a lot of things that happened. Our AC broke for weeks. Our dryer was broken for almost 7 weeks. We literally just got it fixed yesterday as that I'm making this video. We just had a lot of like things that kind of put us into debt happen. And then I had all sorts of personal life things that I won't tell the internet happen. And then I hurt my tooth, had to get dental procedures done. It has literally been a roller coaster of like the last 3 months. And there wasn't just really any time for me to record anything. And I kind of was burning out trying to make time. And I won't lie, I still kind of am. I don't feel like I'm gonna be back to full-time YouTube for a while. But I had an idea for a video and I decided to just go for it. So I'm May, and this is my channel. So that's the life update, is that I survived. I survived a lot, and I'm getting back into the swing of things, getting back into reading more frequently. And I guess we can go over what I read. So I do Moving with Pride, which is a readathon that I created. And this was the second year of it. And the goal of it was to read as many LGBTQIA books as you possibly could. And there was some prompts. You didn't have to go off the prompts if you didn't want to. It was just read gay, read gay, read gay, all 2 months long. And then there was also a game-a-thon side of it. And I actually was raising money this year for the Trevor Project. And I ended up raising $100, which doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but I am a smaller streamer. I'm a smaller content creator, so $100 was amazing for me. And $100 is helping many people that wouldn't have gotten help. So I'm really proud of that. And maybe next year we can raise even more money. I definitely will be doing it again. And I ended up reading about 27 books for Moving with Pride in total. My goal was 30 and I didn't hit it, and that's okay because life happens. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over the top 3 books that I read during Moving with Pride. I don't own them physically, so I'll have the picture up somewhere so you can see it. I'm actually really surprised because 2 out of 3 of these are horror books, and I've never really been the biggest fan of horror, but for some reason, Moving with Pride really hit me hard with really amazing horror books. So I'm gonna go over my top 3, maybe give you some stats, and then that will be the end of this video. I'm trying to keep like all videos going forward like under 20 minutes, and we'll see how we do with this today. I don't want to like talk really fast and rush myself, but I do just want to get better about not doing hour-and-a-half long videos every time, so that it helps me get back into actually putting out YouTube videos. Okay, so my favorite book of Moving with Pride, like the entire thing, is a book called Compound Fracture, which is by Andrew Joseph White. I listened to it as the audiobook, and it was literally phenomenal. I would really recommend listening to it as an audiobook. It was like only 9 hours. So not too long of a book. I gave it 5 stars. I gave all of these book 5 stars, if that wasn't obvious. And this is a thriller horror book following a trans autistic teenager who was growing up in the Appalachian. And they are not very supported in the Appalachian, and they get bullied and hate crimed and all sorts of things. And they decide to get revenge, and they start killing the people who hate them and hate crime them. And you know what? Period. Period. Not that I support crime, but if there's ever a good time to commit a crime, it is to take out those who are transphobic. Period. And that is the gist of the book, and there is a lot of death in this book, so I do recommend checking the trigger warnings. But it's like a very interesting story about just being queer and autistic and growing up in the Appalachian. I actually did grow up in the Appalachian. I still live there, and I'm also trans, and I'm also autistic. So I was like, damn, this could have been my life. Should I start going out and killing people that are transphobic to me? I promise I'm not. No one report me to the government. I promise I won't. But it was just like really like that's what drew me to the story was the fact that like I was like, oh my god, I am also from the Appalachian. And the cover is like a teenager holding like his hand over his eye, and there's a dog. And you're like, what does this cover mean? When you find out what the cover means, it's literally such a great plot reveal, and I was so blown away. It was literally so good. And I almost didn't read this because it didn't fit a prompt for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just read it anyways, and I'll find a spot for it. And I'm so glad that I did end up reading it because it was by far my favorite book of Moving with Pride. And I think they've wrote a couple other things that I'll have to check out, but I know I have some friends who were like, oh, I've heard of that book, or I've heard about author. Take this as your sign to go and fucking read it. It literally is um very creepy, very violent, very gut-wrenching, very like pushing back against politics, which is sadly a very common theme right now, but it still was very interesting to read even in current times. And then the second book that I really ended up loving is another horror book, but it's more sci-fi horror, and it's called Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. This is by an author who is intersex and uses they pronouns. They are also black and queer and just like the perfect book for Moving with Pride, honestly. And I was really surprised what they did with this book. I was not really sure what to expect because the cover is really not giving much. The cover is literally just flowers and grass and leaves, and I was like, okay, I have literally no idea what any of this could possibly mean. And it is following a black lady who is escaping from a cult, and it's actually a cult of a black community because they essentially think that they're better than white people, and they think that they're God's true children, and they are like a very religious cult. And this is told by a black author, which is why I was like, oh, you know what? Damn, okay. Because obviously if this was told by a white person, it would have been kind of fucked up. But obviously it's coming from a person of that own community. And I was super intrigued by it. For a purpose that I won't spoil, because I'll keep that for when people read it. But she is pregnant. And in this journey when she's literally trying to run away from the cult. So it's following her story of being pregnant and then having the babies and then trying to be on the run. And there's like a really sci-fi part of all of this that you just comes out of nowhere that I don't want to touch on because it's just like, I want people to be able to enjoy this for themselves. This author is intersex and has included intersex in many of their books. I have not read any other books by them, but I will be definitely looking into them, and I'm actually doing a work presentation about this book. That's how good it was. I was like, I got to work, so I'm actually doing a whole presentation about this author and being intersex and how good this book was. So this is a high praise and a high recommendation from me, especially if you like horror or sci-fi books. And it is queer, and obviously it's intersex. And Moving with Pride. Sorry, I don't know, brain is not used to yapping so much with y'all anymore. And then the last book that I will say is my highly recommendation out of all of them is a completely different tone, which is a romance, and it is called Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. This is a asexual mid-late 40s couple, and it is the male who is asexual. This is the first time that I've ever read a book where the male is the one who is actually asexual. I think that male asexuality is not talked about nearly at all. So it was like really refreshing to be in the mindset of a man trying to explain what asexuality means to him and exploring how he would be in a relationship with someone. And I just thought it was literally so amazing. And they meet online, kind of like in a game like Final Fantasy, but it's like their own version of it. And they meet online and they end up meeting, and they have a very like caring relationship, and it's witty and it's humorous. Witty and humorous are the same word. Listen, I'm nervous. But it's like a rom-com essentially. And they're both in their 40s. And I think it's really interesting to read a book from someone in their 40s because mainstream contemporary romance is everyone like in 18 years old to like 25. You don't really get many romances that are taking place after that age frame. Just because a lot of authors focus in on that. So it was really interesting to read about people in their 40s. I am not in my 40s, so it was kind of harder to connect with them, but I also kind of was like, oh, that's my mom and dad. Not to make anyone feel old, but my parents are like barely 50. So I was like, the guy's like 48, and I was like, oh my god, he's like old enough to be my dad. So that's kind of how I was interpreting it, was like mom and dad is just in love. So Obviously, if you're much older, this book would still be good for you. And yeah, those are the top 3 books that I loved for Moving with Pride and highly recommend for anyone that's looking for queer representation in their books. And I'm really excited to see what we do with next year. Just like a little expectations of YouTube videos going forward. I feel like I should just reintroduce myself and what I'm gonna try to do. Like I said, I'm May. I am queer. I'm ADHD. I'm autistic. I'm OCD. I'm asexual. I'm a fucking mess half the time. And I think maybe we should just have this expectation that I'll put a video out when there's a video to be put out. I'm no longer going to do weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly. I'm just going to put a video out whenever it feels like it. And when I have an idea that I want to put out, is kind of what I'm going to shift to doing. I also have some ideas of like gaming content to put out. I will not lie. I know most people typically separate their gaming channels from their reading channels. I will not be doing that because once again, I am ADHD. You get whatever's coming out of my brain, and it's going to mean that it's going to be all in one place. It's going to be all on this channel, and you can pick and choose what you want to watch. There's no one telling you got to watch the book content. There's no one telling you got to watch the gaming content. But one of the gaming ideas that I have is that I started a hot dog royal family in The Sims, and it's exactly what it said. It is literally a whole family that has to wear hot dog costumes, and they are literally becoming royalty. I played it one day as a charity reward, and everyone was like, hey, we need more of this actually. And I don't have a way of doing it on stream currently because I have a whole other stream playthrough. So people were like, please put it on YouTube. So I might play it occasionally and put out videos. There is no timeline for it. Like I said, you'll get them when you get them. And if you get them, you get them. I do want to get back into making content. I just have no expectation of what I'll be putting out or when I will be putting it out. This is my first video in 3 months, and I kind of just want to put it out to the universe without much thought because I'll get really stressed out and I will put it out and then delete myself. I'll just literally delete my whole account if I get too nervous. So, but I will say the best thing that's happened to me in the 3 months that I've been gone is that I got to see Noah Khan. I'm wearing the shirt. And it was amazing. And if you've been around on my channel, I did one of my very first videos was doing Noah Khan music picks my books. I've been really thinking about doing a second part to that, so maybe that might be a video that comes out. An idea, I'm trying to think of ideas, and I'll see you folks when I see you. If you want to see more of me, I do stream pretty regularly under the same name, and I also have a Discord that I talk a lot in. It just seems like YouTube might be a bit on the back burner as life tries to figure its stuff out. But I missed everyone, and I do want to do something with YouTube. So thanks for watching if you do watch. And yeah, that's it. Bye. See ya when I see you.